Alright, so this isn't the kind of content that I normally make for this channel, but the darndest thing happened to me like a week ago, and I thought I'd share it here because I thought it was hilarious. So, as a few of you guys probably know, I haven't really been open about this on YouTube, but unfortunately, Pirate Game is going to be coming to an end soon. I love the party. They love me. Really, the problem is just like it's just college is coming up, and we got a few of our players who are going to be going off to college, and we're running two games. And I can probably keep our Thursday game keep going together, but unfortunately, Monday game is getting thrown out the window. And which sucks, but I'm happy we can still keep doing the one campaign. And so we're wrapping up. I'm going to be wrapping up the pirate game in a few weeks, unfortunately. Sorry if this is how you first hear about it. Everyone's schedule's getting a bit tighter, but this means I now have free time on Mondays and or possibly early Tuesdays. And I've now got a hole in my schedule. And I'm like, well, it's been about a year since I did the Dark Streets campaign, and I'd like to do another campaign. That'd be interesting. What's the worst that could possibly happen, right? What's the worst that could happen if I go on Roll20 and search for campaigns? So, go on Roll20, type in what time I'm free, start looking for campaigns. I scroll through a bunch of them. There's a whole bunch of living worlds up there, and I see this one game called Tomb of Annihilation. Now, at the time, I didn't know what Tomb of Annihilation was, but I still have the LFG post around here somewhere. I'm not going to show it on camera because that's just me, and that's just encouraging harassment from my like 70 subscribers. But yeah, it was an LFG post. There was like one player remaining. I apply to the game. I just type up an application while I'm on the bus, and I get invited, which is cool. And I meet this guy, and he's telling me about the campaign. And he says the reason he's recruiting is because two of his players recently died and left, as in their characters died, and then immediately afterwards they left the game. That's a red flag for me. Because, like, okay, characters die. That's a part of the game. But, like, to rage quit after your character death, that to me means that you screwed up. That means you did not, like, okay, character death is not supposed to be fun per se, but, like, there's a very big difference between having a dramatic death and having a bullshit death. So at first I thought bullshit death, but maybe it was the player's fault. I don't know. I've only known this guy for 5 minutes at this point. And he says, okay, this is a game in a jungle. You're going to be trekking through Chult, which is in Forgotten Realms. You're going to be down south, and you're going to be try to find this weird necromancy artifact. And I think necromancers, the first thing I think is paladin. How does a paladin fit? There's a paladin in the party already. I'd like to make a paladin who have a different oath, if that's fine. This is a 5th edition game, by the way. I'm not a huge 5e fan, but I'm more of a Pathfinder guy, as you can probably tell from the YouTube channel, but I got no problem with 5th edition players, and I know how to play it from time to time, so I pitch him this paladin. He's not okay with it. Or, well, he was okay with the paladin, but he said there was like this thing in the Discord server. I do not have access to this Discord server anymore, unfortunately, but there was like a post to the Discord server being like, for every like hour or 5 hours of travel through this jungle, you'd basically have to make a con save or take a level of exhaustion. Now, I didn't know what that meant because I don't have the exhaustion rules in 5th edition memorized, but they're like way more serious than like fatigue is. Fatigue in Pathfinder is like -2 to strength. A few levels of exhaustion in 5th edition will like literally kill you. So I'm like, okay, no heavy armor. I guess this DM doesn't want anyone wearing heavy armor. Okay, makes sense. A tropical jungle. Maybe heavy armor is a bad thing. Then why do we have a paladin? Whatever, okay, I haven't met the rest of the party. I'm not gonna make assumptions. I'm gonna make a proper bard. It doesn't let me keep my backstory. He said it was like I had this like military officer backstory of like this valor bard who like fought his way through Drow and got promoted up to level 3, and he was gonna go downtown. Nope, can't do that. You're middle aged. What's it called? You're level 3. You're not middle aged. Lol. I didn't think age had anything to do with level. Lorelei is like 80 and she's like level 3. But whatever. Try to talk to the party, come up with this new backstory of this ex-con man. And that is the picture you're currently seeing on YouTube. I say, okay, this guy is like a 35-year-old. He's been living on the streets of Luskin. He's conning people out, uh, feeling burnt out with life. Joins the Church of Lathander, becomes like a bard, paladin, preacher, something like that. And I give him the lore version of bard. Because like, okay, I want a bunch of proficiencies, and I'm gonna stab people with my rapier. That sounds fun. He asked for my token. I sent him the picture you're currently looking at. He says, nah. He says he wants the actual configuration link for my token. Which, like, on Roll20, or if you've ever gone on Hero Forge, you'll see, like... Actually, I think I could probably show you now, honestly. Actually, not. But yeah, if you go on Hero Forge, and you, like, type in... At the top right there'll be an option to screenshot your token, but there will also be an option up there to... Actually, you know what? Hold on. Let me go to Hero Forge right now. I think it says restoring unsaved characters, so it might actually just still be here right now. Oh, let me wait for this to load. Oh, that's not the correct character. Sign in. Heroes. Where is yeah. Oh yeah, I still have it because he made me change this in the character. Yeah, so I went on Hero Forge and I made a token. You might notice this token looks a little bit different from the other one. And the reason being is because friggin' yeah, hold on, let me show where's the configuration link. Yeah, so there's a share here. Yeah, so if you go to this link right here, you will get this token, which you then can customize to your own extent, or like repose it, or like recolor or whatever, and then save it on your Hero Forge, basically. I hope I haven't screwed up this token by sharing that link. I'm assuming I don't, but whatever, not too worried. Anywho, DM asks for that link. I say, why do you want the configuration link for my token? I already took a screenshot of it. And he's looking at this screenshot of the token and says, you're wearing padded armor. And I go, what? And he's like, yeah, you're wearing padded armor. Did you mean to sell your padded armor to get leather? And I'm like, what? Because I looked up the friggin' like 5e armors. The only difference between padded and leather is padded is cheaper and you get disadvantage on stealth. Like, it's the same AC bonus. It's like, it literally doesn't matter mechanically wise. In fact, padded is just straight up worse than leather. And I'm like, well, I don't want disadvantage on stealth checks. I've got proficiency in stealth checks from my background. I want to have good stealth. And I'm like, do you have a problem with the way my token's currently looking? And he says, yes, because this padding here, what's it called? You need to change, your token needs to look like what your character actually looks like. So I made this token, obviously, so I just slapped the fucking breastplate on him. And eventually I made this, which is I swapped it out for, yeah, there we go, Greg Crossbow, because I realized I was only going to have, like, 14 odd AC. So I was like, okay, I'll swap the rapier for a crossbow, even though I really wanted the rapier. And obviously there was no chance of me ever buying weapons or anything in the game. It was just... I'm sorry, I don't like talking about this sort of stuff. I'm talking about this because it makes me... Talking about this sort of stuff just kind of makes me angry, because this is not what RPGs are all about. RPGs are about having fun and great things. So, like, every other video on this channel is about us having a great time together, and it's just... This guy threw a hissy fit. That's the word I used when I posted this story to Reddit. But, anywho, red flag number 3 is when he went on the Discord server, and he did an at everyone post, and he was like, okay, this is everybody's age range. And I know there's officially, like, stat penalties if you're, like, too old or too young or whatever. But he's like, no, every single person in this entire game, because, like, all of us were rolling humans. Greg here was technically a protector Asimir, but that's basically human in my books. And he's like, okay, everyone has to be 16 to 21. And I was like, what? Why do you care so much about my ages Why is it that just that's such a narrow range? And I don't want to be such a young character going and fighting necromancers. That makes me feel uncomfortable. So I send a message to him being like, "Yo, WTF?" And basically he responded by like completely shitting on me. He responded, it was just like, "Oh my god, your token looks terribly. I'm going to customize every single person's token. Everything you say to me, it has to be like completely accurate to what's happening in game. It's absolutely it makes very little to no sense why someone of that age and that history suddenly went to one of the most dangerous areas of Faerun to track down an artifact. Is like, really? A friggin' old con man suddenly deciding to turn his life around? That's suddenly ridiculous? That's what D&D is all about, man." And then he just started going on and on about how much he hates 5th edition, and he was running a 5th edition game. And I was like, what? I was just like, oh my god, why do you... Like, I get it. Maybe he wanted to, like, run 3.5 and he couldn't find enough players for that. I've never had a problem with that, but then again, I prefer DMing over running players. But it was like again, I'm not going to show the Discord. I'm not going to show this guy's username, but it's like he's like, "I'm sorry if it feels constrained. 5e is too far on the make shit up spectrum for a TTRPG. I thought I made it clear on my DM philosophy. Perhaps I didn't." And then he just responded, "Oh, by the way, I allow this spell for bards." Like, as if that entire thing that he sent me was just not the biggest friggin' red flag in the entire world. And I basically responded, "Okay, buddy, I'm sorry. I'm withdrawing my application. Why do the aesthetics of my character's token matter so much to you? You're gonna give me disadvantage on stealth checks because I choose what my character wears in my imagination? And like 30 years old is too old to have a midlife crisis?" Like, I know some 40-year-olds and they still don't know what the hell they want to do with their life. And I was like, why the hell are you running 5th edition if you don't like 5e? Don't run what you hate. And I was just like, yeah, I don't think that is for me. And so I unfriended him. I left the game in Discord and I ran like hell. Because, man, if there's one thing you can get out of this video, it is that no D&D is much better than shit D&D. And I can tell you that from experience. There are some wacky people out there, and don't get me wrong, you can play in a wacky game. You can play, like, I have done some crazy stuff over the years in D&D. I have done games for young children. I have done games for, like, murder, death, gore simulator. If any of you guys ever heard me talk about Trixie, you know what I'm talking about. But like, the only reason those sorts of games work is because everyone consents. Everyone's like, okay, we all want to roleplay in a game where we're all chaotic, evil people. And everyone at the table is okay with that, and everyone at the table is okay with that sort of experience. But like if someone at the table is like, "No, I don't want to go around like butchering towns," then you don't do that. Or it's like if you want to play a game where like heavy armor is a big deal and everyone's slowly dying of exhaustion in like a grim dark evil world, that's fine as long as everybody consents to it. Or like I want a game where everybody's tokens are like completely lore accurate. And it's like you can, but like give me a reason that I have to wear like lore accurate tokens. Like honestly, I don't even normally use tokens. Normally, I just have people like grab an image off of Google. It was just it was such a weird experience. It was like the first game I tried to join ever since Dark Streets, and it just made me feel like, yo, I feel bad for that guy's party. Anywho, sorry for the terrible, unhappy story. Don't normally like doing this. I'm uploading the rest of Cogs and Dragons onto the archive. Hopefully, we'll have everything up by the end of the week. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind on uploads right now. It's just been work. Anywho, hope y'all are having a great day, and I didn't ruin your day. Have a good one.